And in 2011, I watched the movie Forks Over Knives. If you haven't seen that movie, I highly suggest you watch it, because my husband and I walked out of the movie theater, we looked at each other and we were like, okay, that's it, no more meat and dairy. And then we flew to New York the next day, and our first meal was chicken parmesan. So it didn't quite stick, but it got in our brains. And when we saw the movie a second time the next week, and that was the charm. And at that point, I was 8 months pregnant with my fourth child. It was June 2011, hot, humid, I was sluggish, and I changed my diet, and in a week, I felt incredibly different, incredibly energized. I lost 7 pounds in the last 2 months of my pregnancy, and I had an amazing birth. But then, I got sleep deprived, right? Yeah. And Oreos are vegan, right? And so I went from this really beautiful whole food plant-based diet to being a junk food vegan. And it doesn't really make you feel better. In fact, I started feeling worse. And so I've had a real journey with my plant-based. I've been conveniently vegan, meaning if you were serving something that wasn't vegan, I was going to eat it because I wasn't going to insult you. You know, to junk food vegan, to plant-based vegan. And then in 2020, when COVID hit, my daughter came home from college, and she was super struggling with food in a huge way. And there's a doctor, Dr. Joel Fuhrman. If you haven't read any of his books, Eat to Live, Reverse Diabetes, all the things, he had opened a retreat out in California. And she went out there for 3 months. And I went out there with her to drop her off. And I stayed for 4 days. That's it. And in 4 days, they taught me that it wasn't important what I didn't eat, meaning meat and dairy. It was important what I did eat. And that was very high nutrient density, low-calorie foods. And if you think that foods don't affect the way you feel, join our way of life, because in 4 days, I was already pretty healthy, trust me. I mean, I was on a whole food plant-based diet. But Dr. Fuhrman took it to the next level. And at that retreat, I met Chef Victor, because he was working there, right? And I came home, and so my daughter lost, over the course of a year, 150 pounds. And our family transformed the way we ate. And so it's a journey, right? And so we want to, I am lazy, I'm super lazy. So we want to show you some easy ways to be healthy, make it delicious. Me, I don't really even need it to be delicious. You'll know I'm only going to show you all one thing. But I want to let Chef Victor talk a little bit about, you know, how we met and his background and what he's going to be teaching y'all.
Cool, yeah, well thanks for the induction. Thank you all for joining us. It's really exciting. It's our first Vegan for Beginners demo. We have been talking about this since I first started here over 3 years ago, which is crazy. Now we finally, it came to fruition, which is great. So a little bit about me. My background is predominantly fine dining. So I ran hotels in Beverly Hills for almost 10 years. I consulted in hotels. I'm not a vegan chef, I'm just a chef. I'm not a vegan either, but I am plant forward, you know, just to bring that out there. So just as Leslie explained, we met at the Eat to Live retreat under Dr. Joel Fuhrman, and I think that's really where I began my journey, is like really focusing on food as medicine. And it's really came true just visually. You know, I spent a couple years working with him and seeing multitudes of guests come through the retreat, spending 1 to 3 months with us, and you can see firsthand the power of food that it has on the human body. You know, within a few weeks, we had guests coming off like 6 or 7 different pharmaceutical pills. Remarkable journeys, not just Leslie's daughter Delaney, but you know, I saw it firsthand, and it was really rewarding, and it made me realize that more so, there's one thing to be a chef, you know, preparing beautiful foods with meats and other, you know, animal style proteins and such, but it's more remarkable to have an impact on the community, you know, to make an impact and show people to eat healthier, and you know, you'll see firsthand what it does to your body. So what I'll be doing today, I'll be doing a plant-based burger, sort of a Southwest spin on a burger. I'm going to do a sort of like a pickly green bowl with the chickpea sort of salad on it, and then finally I'll do like a plant-based tiramisu. So that's what I'm doing here.
Yeah. So we're going to start with me. This is something I do every morning I make a cruciferous smoothie. So for those of you that don't know, the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet are cruciferous vegetables. So what are cruciferous vegetables? Cabbage, kale, spinach, cauliflower, broccoli, bok choy. If they are cruciferous, they are super dense in nutrients. So if you're going to do nothing else good for yourself today, drink a cruciferous smoothie. Why do I make it into a smoothie? Because it's much easier. You can put a ton of cruciferous vegetables in there. You can make it sweet. I need my strawberries and bananas, please. You can make it sweet with fruit. I make it a water base to keep the sugar low. Now I'm hardcore. This is my legit smoothie from today. Okay, it looks delicious, doesn't it? This is a kale one. I use up whatever I have. I actually grabbed these bananas because I saw them. These are from our acai bowls and like super overripe, so we're not going to use them. But I'm going to use these because in plant-based cooking, when you have a banana that looks like this, you want to freeze this bad boy. This is super sweet. It's going to make things taste delicious. So there's so many ways that you can reuse fruits and vegetables in plant-based cooking. So this one, here are the ingredients we're going to use. I use a lot of cabbage because cabbage lasts forever, right? We actually had a dress rehearsal like 3 weeks ago, and I had leftover cabbage, and then we had a dress rehearsal yesterday or Thursday, and I used it again. It's perfectly fine. It will get a little more cruciferous-y tasting, but you know, I just think that that makes us, you know, healthier. So it's pretty easy, all you're going to do. And also, this is so ideally you want a really high-speed blender, but they're expensive. So the two brands are Vitamix #1, Blendtec #2. But if you do not have the budget for that, this is a Ninja that I bought at Costco. And I bought it on sale. It was $129, and it comes with a food processor as well. So it doesn't make it quite as smooth as the Vitamix does, but it certainly works. And if you're doing something like spinach, it's going to work like a charm. Kale, pretty good. Cabbage is one of the more difficult ones. Okay, so all we're going to do is super simple. You're just going to cut up, this is like a cup of cabbage, put it in. I always put berries in. Why berries? They're the highest in antioxidants, polyphenols, they are superfoods. So any berry. I chose strawberry because they're less expensive, but you can use any berry that you want. Then I use bananas. They also have health benefits, but the real role here is to make it sweet, right? So we're going to put in about 3/4 cup of, I freeze my fruit so it'll come out really cold. Sometimes when I don't use frozen fruit, I just throw some ice in with it. We also are going to put ground flax seeds in it because these are really high in omega-3s, and they also boost the absorption rate of all the other stuff that you're putting in here. So if you've got ground flax seed, you're going to absorb the polyphenols and the antioxidants and the phytonutrients and the cruciferous and the berries 20 to 50 times more. And then the last thing is, I don't use these, but you guys might want to. There's nothing wrong with them. And we put in some dates. Now, these are pitted already, but in our first dress rehearsal, I didn't know that because I didn't use them. And I kept going, what's that noise? Don't worry, I did drink it. Yeah, we don't waste anything over here.
That's a true story, yeah.
And then the last thing is water. And if you want it to be sweeter, you want to add more fruit and less vegetable, and you can ease into this. Any level of cruciferous vegetable is going to benefit your health, anything. So we're going to put it in, it's pretty simple. We're just going to turn it on for 60 seconds. It's a little bit large, and loud, sorry. And in the meantime, well, maybe we're not going to turn it on.
Top, Leslie, top. Close the top.
The top, there we go. Safety. There, safety first. There we go. Okay, so we're going to blend it up. In the meantime, in the magic of TV, we have our made. So we're going to pass out some samples. There we go. We're not going to release the top again. And y'all can try it. Now, I want to forewarn you, it is a cruciferous smoothie water base. Okay? It is not pineapple-based strawberry peach mango. Okay? So it does taste good, but not super sweet. Alright? Did everyone get a chance to sample it? Are there any more people that need samples? Do we have more? You're welcome to. Oh, I have this. We'll try this one. Okay. So if you're in a rush, I make these, so I make like 48 to 96 ounces at a time. I obviously reuse my little bottles. This is not ginger root. You can freeze these super easily. They will not resume the same texture, but they will retain the same nutrients. So if you do nothing else good for yourself today, y'all, seriously incorporate this as an easy way to boost your health. All disease is reversible. Our bodies are incredible machines. If you give it superior nutrition, it will heal itself. This is the beginning. So I'm going to turn it over to Chef. He's going to teach you some stuff that's way more difficult than this.
It's not supposed to be though.
No, it's not. It's not. I actually already learned how to make it just in the dress rehearsals, and I don't know how to cook.
Cool, awesome. So we're going to get into the Southwest burger first. So first things first, the recipe does have brown rice. I cooked it according to manufacturer's directions on the back, but more specifically, I just cooked it in an instant pot. You could definitely supplement other grains that you have, like quinoa, millet, whatever you might have in your household. Act the same way. So I have that pre-cooked. I just want to mention that. Before I start on sauteing the vegetables, to make this burger more stable, we rely on flaxseed egg, so to speak. So I have ground flaxseed right here. It's just 1 tablespoon. I'm going to combine it with 3 tablespoons water and just whisk it together straight off the bat, just so it usually needs about 5 minutes just to gel up. So let that sit while we continue on. So I have a medium saute pan here that I'm going to have on medium heat. And what you're going to notice first off is I'm starting it in a dry pan, so no oil at all. So we have half a white onion, half a red bell pepper, and then it's 4 ounces of just sliced cremini mushrooms. And really you could supplement any mushrooms or combination of mushrooms, whatever you prefer. But dry pan is important. And it's funny because I've had this conversation with all my chef friends about how I cook here. And when I first started, it was really difficult with Leslie because she wanted to be...
Because I had just come home from Dr. Furman. So I was like on the path, right?
Yeah, so she was like super strict, no salt, no oil, no sugar. And, during my time at the Furmans, it actually made me a better cook, not having the capabilities to use the salt and the oil. Sugar is easier to get with, but it did make me a better cook. And my chef friends, they don't understand, like, how do you cook without oil? Well, you can still cook the same way. You're still going to be able to caramelize the vegetables, get those natural sugars out. The vegetables themselves have natural water content, so as soon as they're exposed to heat, they're going to start releasing that water. So as you saute it, you'll start to see the moisture slowly starts trickling out. If at any point you start to see they stick too much or it begins to burn, just have some water on the side and just pour a little bit in. Not too much because you don't want to boil the vegetables. You're really doing a water saute is what it's called.
Let's just talk real quick why no oil. Okay, so you want nutrient dense, calorie low. And so in the calorie world, there's 9 calories per gram of fats, and there's 4 calories for proteins and carbs. So it's more than double, 0 health benefits. 0. It's actually disease promoting. Okay, so I know with the Mediterranean diet, there's a lot of olive oil, it's healthy, but the oil really doesn't provide anything for your body, and it's actually making your body work harder.
So this is really going to take about 5 minutes or so. You're not looking to cook the vegetables to the point where they become mush. What I'm looking for visually is more importantly the mushrooms, because I want to cook them all the way. You don't want them to be raw at all. You really shouldn't be eating mushrooms raw to begin with. They should always be cooked.
And why? Because they release the chemical that is anti-cancer. So mushrooms are superfoods. Absolutely, you should have mushrooms every single day, but they have to be cooked. The heat makes them release the chemical. Not true true for onions, not true for any other vegetables, just the mushrooms. It doesn't hurt you, but you're not getting the maximum benefit at all. And these, so mushrooms are so high in these compounds that are anti-cancer that it's just silly not to release them.
I need to bring back the mushroom salad.
Right?
I like that. That's one of the best ones.
Okay, well, you're talking to the right person.
The Caesar one?
The shiitake.
The shiitake.
Yeah, I got it.
Bring that one back. I went there the other day.
Have you tried the Korean?
I don't like it.
You didn't like it? That's my favorite. What about the Greek?
I tried that in the power bowl.
The protein bowl?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
But
Well, we're two out of
I love mushrooms.
three. Yeah.
But it
I
was,
hear you.
I would go and get like 6 of them for the whole week.
I agree, yeah. Well, we're gonna have mushrooms up, trust me. They're so important in our diet, we're gonna be adding them to a lot of our.
And I just, in January, I did your 21 days.
You did? We just had 2 of our colleagues do it. How'd it go?
It was good.
Awesome.
I mean, I'm used to fasting. I ain't eaten 27 years, so.
Okay, but we're gonna burn the burgers.
I need to unplug that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so where we're at right now is pretty much where I want to be. I don't know if you can see some of the guests here are a little far away, but the mushrooms have softened up. The onions and garlic, the onions and peppers are softened up. So at this point, I'm going to add my spices. So I have 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of
Hang on, you have a question?
Is there any difference, nutritional difference between tahini, shiitake, or syrup?
They're all fantastic.
Okay.
So you want to mix them.
Okay.
They all have slightly different chemical compounds, but they all have the anti-cancer, longevity, promoting.
Yeah,
I know for sure because I listened this morning to the Dr. Furman podcast.
There you go.
yeah. I mean,
Different flavors that you get with the different mushrooms?
Yeah, for sure. And textures.
Okay, I just wondered when it's appropriate to use certain mushrooms.
There's no bad mushrooms. You cannot go wrong. All right.
yeah.
So go back over what you just put in.
Yeah.
I can really smell the aroma.
Yeah. So it was 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of
And you guys had your little booklets that have the recipes.
smoked paprika, and then about 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. And the reason I add them now is when it's all dry and the vegetables are ready, because they have natural essential oils too. They will start to smell and they permeate and they actually flavor your burger even more. So now at this point, we're going to take the same base that Leslie has used and plop on the food processor. And we're going to add those vegetables along with a few other ingredients. So we add sauteed veggies. We're going to add the brown rice, cup brown rice. We're going to add a 26-ounce can of black beans.
So only, this is it, right here, nothing fancy, rinse them.
Yeah, they're just
That's
bushes.
it. You know, it doesn't have to be hard.
Rinse. And then we're going to add half a cup of whole rolled oats. And this is a 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Okay, that's where I gave in. You're like, no, listen, Leslie, you gotta meet them where they are. Okay? So, we're on the journey.
Yeah, slowly.
It's a 1/4 cup.
So the last thing, so, these have been sitting for about 5 minutes or so, maybe a little longer, and it's kind of loopy.
Yeah, so that's the flax
That's
seed.
the flax egg. It's just a
So it's
tablespoon
just the
of flax.
flax seed that he added, he had 1 tablespoon flax, 3 tablespoons water, it's a binder. So it'll make the burger stick together.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, instead of eggs.
Instead of it.
Yeah, I mean, animal burgers don't have egg anyway, but because we're using,
But they have fat.
they have fat. That also helps bind it. Here we don't have any fat beside. I mean, beans have some fat, but it's minimal.
Very low.
Do you utilize the liquid that's in the canned beans? I know you rinse it, but
Only chickpea.
Chickpeas.
Aquafaba that you save forever and then you never know what to use it with and it's gone bad. Now I freeze it and I have a lot of it in my freezer, but I still don't know what to use it with. But in another class, we're going to learn what to use aquafaba.
Yeah. All right, so we have all the ingredients inside. Turn this sucker back on, and then I'm going to put on Okay, I'm just gonna pulse this mixture. I don't wanna keep running it. I wanna only take it to the point where everything's kind of getting bound. I don't wanna break up the ingredients too much to where it's just like a mushy paste. I want to see some structure to it, some more texture than just mush. And it doesn't take long to come together. I'm just gonna crack this open real quick and see where it's at. And I'll grab a little sample in a moment once I think it's ready, so I can show you what I'm looking for. Make sure you don't reach into the food processor with your bare hand. I made that mistake even though I've been doing this for over 15 years, and I cut myself the other day. So that's really where you want it. You just want it kind of binds together, and you can form a loose little patty like that. So, and Leslie can help me form some patties.
I'm very proficient. So this recipe is going to make about
Six burgers.
nice-sized burgers.
Yeah. Oh, you got a fresh one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's swing that.
Thank you.
Italian, thank you. I mean, the size is up to your discretion too. I mean, you can make little sliders with it. You can make larger ones if you intend to put it in like a bowl, like a salad bowl, grain bowls or whatever. So once we have
This
this,
one's kind of small.
well,
When we made it the other day, they were pretty large and we had some left over. But do you remember what the cost is to make this dish?
I believe, so we shopped for everything that we have before us at Eat 'em Fresh just down the street.
Right.
And for this, it amounted to about $2.30 per burger.
And for the amazing smoothie, it's like $2.
Yeah.
That's for a 24 ounce. Or if you're lazy like me, you can come here and buy it for $4. The cruciferous cabbage. And sometimes it's calendar. Nobody buys it though, so y'all please buy it because, you know, we gotta promote health in our community. Oh, that was a good size one.
Big one. All right, so once we have these patty, I just have them on a sheet pan with parchment paper. You really should put some sort of paper on it, unless you have some pans where you just want to do a light
Like
little-
silicone?
like silicone mats. You can find it in like bakery supply stores. Those are great because they're reusable. Have you ever seen them, the silicone mats? For those of you that haven't, I'll grab them real quick.
Okay, so we have 6 nice size and we have a little mini slider
They just look like
for
this.
the babies.
They have half size, they have quarter size too, that'll fit on your pans. Cool. So, we have the patties in a little baby one.
The baby slider. For the baby.
That's cute.
Hopefully in time then.
So these go in the oven. I think I put 375 degrees. I said 25 minutes. I don't remember what it says in the book. But at the halfway point, take them out, flip them over so the other side gets nice and dry. It's already pretty much cooked. You're really just trying to dry it out, take it to the point where it's stable and you can actually build burgers out of it. So
And you don't have to worry that if you have a raw egg, oh my gosh, I need to cook it. You don't have that. It's just
nothing like
beans and
that.
vegetables.
And then, you know, magic of TV. Throw these in the oven and then
And you can just
we have some burgers ready.
They do
What's the question? So we're not putting vegan cheese on this at all. We're using our smoky queso dip, which is cauliflower based, cruciferous smoothie, cruciferous vegetable. So you guys will all get a chance to taste it. This is a little bit spicy. If anyone has an aversion, it's because we have pickled jalapenos here.
Yeah, so anybody that doesn't like spicy, maybe,
Okay. We have enough.
yeah, we have some that don't have
How
pickled
many people
jalapeno.
do not want, it's not super spicy. These are, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
So I'll put it on the top bun too.
So we'll do 2 burgers.
Okay, I'll keep one of those. Thank you. Okay. So for this preparation, what we're doing today, we're keeping it kind of basic. So like Leslie mentioned, we're using the smoked queso. I happen to like it a lot. She took my bottom bun.
Can I have the bottom of the soda shaker, please?
For this one, all we're doing is just some butter lettuce leaves, some sliced tomatoes and pickled jalapenos, and the sauce that I just explained. At home, I mean, you could put any range of toppings at home. I would put like guacamole, avocado on it.
Okay, here you go. This one already has.
Thank you.
Perfect. Got it?
I mean, everyone knows how to build a burger, I think, so.
Yeah, so if you don't want gluten or you don't want wheat, you can put it in lettuce. You know, you can put it in butter lettuce and Napa cabbage and iceberg if you prefer. And you can make the same burger without the gluten or the wheat.
That's kind of what it looks like there. It's kind of hidden by all the greens, but that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Where do you see the bun?
So we use what, well, ideally at Ezekiel, okay? But we shopped at Eden Fresh because we wanted everything. We felt a lot of people that lived in this community would be coming, and we wanted to show where you could get the actual ingredients. So we're using Dave's Organic. Yep.
It's the healthiest one that we found at Eden Fresh. Does anybody have a gluten allergy? Just one? Okay.
All right. We're our non-spicy.
Gluten, celiac? Oh, so there's two. Two? I'll cut it. Can you put the tops on? Yes. And I'll start cutting.
There's a trash can right over there.
There's... These have jalapenos. They have jalapenos. Which one? This one? I kind of want to do it last. So
Is that non-spicy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything else is jalapeno, right?
We have 5 non-spicy, so we'll do one more.
And just so you know, it's not this extra spicy.